welcome to my channel. My name is Joanne, and if you don't know, I am a third-year undergrad student applying to PA school very soon. I wanted to make this video because the next application cycle for PA applicants is coming up. It's right around the corner. It's about 5 weeks away, and it's getting real. I feel like I've been thinking about this moment for 3 years now, and now that it's finally here, I don't know what to think. I don't know how to think, but it's super important that you are prepared for the application cycle. And so I wanted to make this video on how to maximize your chances of getting into PA school, even though I haven't applied yet. So you have to remember that this is my first time applying, but I do have some really helpful tips that I think would help you if you wanted to apply to PA school. So if you're new, or if you're interested in following me along my journey to getting into PA school, through undergrad, make sure to hit subscribe to see more videos. I've been absent this past month just because I've been going through a lot with school, not necessarily the difficulty of school, but I have so much on my plate from working full-time, going to school full-time, trying to balance a lot of things. But I think that I will be more consistent with posting videos. I just kind of needed to take a little mental break. But now that I'm back, I should be posting videos more consistently. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video if you find it helpful at any point in the video, and also make sure to leave a comment, share anything you like. It really helps the algorithm, so you should definitely do that. So without further ado, I'll just jump right into the video. Okay, so my first tip on maximizing your chances of getting into PA school is knowing what you need to apply to PA school. So first and foremost, you're going to need your healthcare experience, your patient care experience. You need to make sure that if you're applying to certain programs and they require the GRE, that you have the GRE done, that you have the prerequisites done. So there's a whole bunch of things that go into applying to PA school. It's not just submitting an application, it's making sure that you have the other supplemental things that make up the application. So really become familiar with what is needed to actually hit submit on Caspa. And if you don't know, Caspa is the centralized application system for physician assistants. So it's kind of like Common App if you applied to universities in high school in America. You probably use Common App, which hundreds of colleges ascribe to, and you send in one application and you can send it to however many schools you want. That's just the gist of what Caspa is. But in order to submit Caspa, you need a whole bunch of things. So you really want to familiarize yourself with the things that you need and then the things that you have right now. I think it is in your best interest to really check off most of these needed things before you even think about applying to PA school. So for example, if you had, let's say, 500 hours of patient care experience, that is on the lower side. So you probably want to really bump that up before you apply to PA school. You really want to take into account each of those components. I strongly suggest that you complete all of these little things like the GRE, trying to get at least 2,000 hours of patient care experience to make sure that you're a very strong applicant, finishing most of the prereqs, which if you don't know, usually PA schools will require Bio 1, Bio 2, Chem 1, Chem 2, organic chemistry or biochemistry, some sort of psychology, statistics, genetics, microbiology, and the list goes on, but it does depend on the program. But I just wanted to put that out there, that you should kind of familiarize yourself with the things that you'll need to actually apply. My next tip is actually familiarizing yourself with Caspa itself. So as I said, Caspa is a centralized application system where hundreds of schools will use this as a way for you to send in your application. Let's say you wanted to apply to 15 schools. So instead of going on each individual website of the 15 programs you want to apply to, making different applications, you use Caspa, where you create one application and you send it out to as many schools as you'd like. But Caspa is not as easy as it sounds. You want to go to caspa.com. You want to check out the website. You need to fill out things like your personal information, your experiences, your awards, your test scores, and stuff like that. So go ahead right now, if you can, go to Caspa's website, create an account, and start filling out stuff. You can start pre-filling information so that when the application cycle opens up, you'll already have that filled in. And that is one less thing you have to worry about when you're applying to PA school. The next thing that I would say is super important to maximize your chance of getting into PA school is to apply early. So there are schools that follow rolling admissions, and that is basically when a school says first come, first serve. Whoever submits their application first, we will view their application first, and you'll have a greater chance of getting in early. I would say early is anything before the end of June. So if you apply from April to June, June, I think that that is a pretty good bubble that you want to kind of stay in. You can definitely research the schools that do rolling-based admissions, but I think for the most part, most schools do that. And so the earlier that you send in your application, the better. You'll be one of the first people that they see, and you're more likely to secure a spot if you apply early. But there are schools that do not follow rolling-based admissions, and so those are the schools that will give you a deadline, and they will not review applications before that deadline. And then after the deadline, they'll view everybody at once. But again, not all schools are like this, and most schools follow a rolling-based admission. So the earlier that you get in your application, the less competition you'll have, because other people are still trying to figure out how to submit their application, and then the better off you'll be. You'll have a greater chance of getting in, so why not? Do not try to submit your application super early knowing that your application is on the weaker side. If you know that you have the hours that you need, if you have your prereqs done, then you can submit early. But if not, try to hold off, try to strengthen your application, try to put your best foot forward before submitting your application. So the next tip that I have is to write your personal statement like now. At the time I'm making this video, it is March. It is the second week of March, which means that Caspa is opening in about 5 weeks. Your personal statement is something that a lot of PA schools will judge you off of, and this kind of tells your story about why the PA profession is the profession for you. This essay carries a lot of weight, and because of that, you want to spend a lot of time making sure that this essay is actually good. It's coherent, it's cohesive, it's readable, and it's enjoyable for the readers, which in this case is the admissions committee. You should probably start writing that way before the application cycle opens. So by the time that the application cycle has opened, this essay has been reviewed by an English professor, a PA, a physician, a peer, really any credible source that can really look over your paper and make sure that this is something that is worth sending into these PA programs. As for me, I wrote my personal statement last summer. I probably need to edit that because I have so much more experience than I had last summer, but I was like, I need to make sure this essay is done. I need to make sure everything is done. So currently I have everything done for PA school, and you want to be in that position. So another way to maximize your chance of getting into PA school is to make sure that you send in your test scores and your transcripts the day Caspa opens. So again, Caspa opens around the end of April, usually the last week of April. And so it takes a while for your transcripts to actually get through to Caspa. So it'll probably take a week for your schools to send your transcripts to Caspa, and then Caspa has to verify your transcripts and your test scores. So this could take a while. So you could submit your application even the day that Caspa opens, but your application will not be complete without your transcripts. So you could be waiting a while for these transcripts to come in. So you want to make sure that as soon as Caspa opens, you're shaving off the processing time by actually sending your transcripts the day it opens. So the last tip that I'll give on how to maximize your chances of getting into PA school is to just do research. I know this sounds so simple, but a lot of people don't do enough research on the programs that they're applying to, and then they end up regretting it. So an example of this would be a program saying you need 1,000 hours to apply. So then an applicant could say, oh, I have 980 hours. I'm just gonna send in my application. 9 times out of 10, they will throw your application out. Like, they will not even review your application because you didn't listen to their rule when they said they only take applicants that have over 1,000 hours. I know this sucks. Like, I wish it didn't have to be that way, but a lot of programs are strict in that. A lot of programs will throw away any application that doesn't have a 300 on the GRE, or if you don't have all of your prereqs done. And so something that I almost missed was I live in the state of Maryland, and I wanted to apply to Towson's PA program and Anne Arundel's PA program. And so I was so ready. I added the PA program to my list, and I was just making sure that I had everything necessary to apply to the school. And I looked over it for months and months and months. And recently I just figured out that I cannot apply to Towson or Anne Arundel because you need a bachelor's degree to apply. A lot of PA programs will let you apply with a bachelor's degree in progress. As long as you have the bachelor's degree by the time you start the PA program, you're good to apply. But these two programs in particular will not even review your application unless you have your bachelor's degree at the time you're submitting the application. So I saved myself a lot of money because I reread and reread and reread to make sure that I met all the requirements. Research could also include the type of program that you're applying to. Some programs place a very big emphasis on primary care. So if you're someone who knows you want to go into surgery, all your patient care experience has been in surgical subspecialties, and you want to become a surgical physician assistant, if you're applying to a PA program that really emphasizes giving care in rural areas, primary care to less advantaged people, you're gonna be at a disadvantage. So there's a lot that you can do to research, and I think that it's super important that you research every single program that you apply to. Another way that you can maximize your chance of getting into PA school is by buying books that will help you during your interview season. The one that I see a lot is this one right here. I think it costs about $30, and it helps prepare you for different types of interviews that you'll see, like MMI interviews, regular one-on-one interviews, and stuff like that. And it'll give you a bunch of questions that you can practice, and you really want to rehearse this, because the worst thing you could do is, have a super great application, and then when the rubber hits the road and you're ready to actually interview with the school of your dreams, you don't know what to say. The interview is what is going to get you that acceptance. So if you're not prepared for your interview, the chances of you getting in have drastically decreased. Does it look like I'm not wearing a shirt? Oh my gosh. Sorry. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to leave a comment down below. It really helps the algorithm. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.